this because I think it's fun, that only we can share this in common. You know, when you become a knifeologist, like all of us are knifeologists, when you become a knifeologist, there's things that only you find entertaining. Like, how many of you have had this? You're like at a party, and like your friends are out back doing whatever people do out back, and they're like, what? And you're like, I'm checking out your mom's rivets. You know, you're like looking through your. How many of you know what I'm talking about? If you're the only one of your friends, like when you're at the mall, like before when you're at the mall, if you ever go to the mall, I don't go to the mall, but if you ever go to the mall, like now as a knifeologist, you're the only one of your friends that when you walk by a kitchen store, you're like, hold on, and you run in to check the prices. How many of you have done that, right? How many of you haven't done it, but you will do it when you go to a kitchen store? And then if you're like me, see, I was one of these new reps where when you're new, you have all these crazy ideas about how you'll sell, right? Like, I'm just going to call everybody and open a phone book. I'm going to call chefs. Bad idea, right? And just chefs would be okay. But I remember I used to always have this, like, fantasy that, like, I'm going to come up with this creative new way to sell Costco. Have you had one of these fantasies? Right? Like, I'm going to go to the wings of Sonoma early and, like, hide behind the knife section. And when I see somebody, like, looking at the knives, I'm going to, like, jump out. Woo! I sell knives. Meet me in the parking lot. I'll sell them out of my truck and my car. Have any of you ever had a stupid idea like that? Like, you really, like, you want to sell something to everybody when you're new. And that's okay. That's okay. Because sometimes that attitude can actually serve you. Now, for those of you who are here this morning, I shared a couple of ideas. One or two of them made sense about phone calls. I shared a couple ideas about selling, about setting the right expectation. And I'm just going to pick up where I left off. Is that cool? Yeah. All right, cool. So, first thing I want to do is I want to shift gears a little bit. And we were talking about selling sets. I'm just going to bounce around here. And see, I've had a lot of you in the hallway ask me, you know, how do you have these big push periods, right? I mean, how many of you want to know how to have the biggest push period you can have? Say hi. And so when people ask, one of the things that I've shared with several of you is, well, I didn't give you this example, but I'll give it to all of you right now. If I were to take you to like the busiest highway around here, right? There's a lot of busy highways around here, right? And in the middle of rush hour or at a time when the cars are going really fast, if I took you to the busiest road and I said, okay, I'd like you to just walk across this road, what would you probably say? You'd say no, right? Now, what if you guys are nice and you're like, I'll do it right away. Walker. Well, what if, most of you would say no, right? What if I then said, okay, let's change up the equation. What if I said, I want you to think about somebody in your life who is the most important person to you. And if I said that person is standing on the other side of the road, and what if I said to you, this person who you love and is the most important person to you, if I said they're standing on the other side of the road, and they are going to stumble and fall into oncoming traffic unless you can find a way across the road. Now, what might your answer be? I'll find a way, right? So why do I use this example? Why is this my answer to all of your questions about how to have a big push period? I use this example is because the only difference, let me ask you, was the traffic still there before? The cars? Yeah, right? The only difference is that you had a reason. Everybody follow that right there? The only difference is that you had a reason. You had an empowering reason. Somebody standing on the other side. It was a reason strong enough for you to change your answer from, no, I wouldn't do it, bad idea, to I'll find a way. Everybody follow that right there? All right. So what I want to share with you now, before I get into the stuff on selling sets and big orders, is look, if you want to be able to give yourself an advantage, right? You want to give yourself an advantage. Make sure that between now and the end of the meeting today, you stop and you ask yourself, what are the reasons that I'm going to use to drive myself? Ask yourself that question. Why am I here? Because one thing I know for sure is not all of you came into your interview like coming in ready for a push period, right? Like you came into your interview for one of three reasons, and tell me if I'm right or wrong here. You came into your interview either because you wanted to get some resume experience, or you wanted to make some money, or you just wanted to do something fun and you saw that this job was freaking crazy and you saw it would be fun. How many of you was it one of those three reasons or a combination of all three? Say hi. All right. So none of those reasons was I want to work this job because I'd like to have a $10,000 push period. Do you follow that right there? So what I'm sharing with you is this. You may have come to this meeting today and you're looking at this guy and these people around you thinking this is all crazy. There's like streamers and posters and crazy people selling knives. shift from being interested right now to being committed is to have some reasons. Right? Because anybody in the room right now could look at this meeting and say, well, this is interesting. There's some guy with glasses talking about selling knives, and can you believe this many young people showed up to hear some guy talk about selling knives, right? Like a hotel employee could be in the back of the room saying, well, this is interesting. But if you want to do more than you've ever done, and how many of you would like to do more than you've ever done? Yeah. No, I didn't even ask. Contest. Cool. So, I mean, what other words work? Master. Peanut butter. Nickel. You guys are cooler than ones are. So, if you want to do more than you've ever done, right, you have to not just be interested, but be what? Committed. And one way to commit yourself is to have some reasons. How many of you like to know what my reasons were when I had a big push? I'll tell you. Here's what they were. It wasn't about the money and the, oh, I can buy a nicer car, or I can buy nicer clothes, or something like that. Because sometimes we get so caught up making these external things our reasons for why we want to do well. But here's the deal. All those things can be taken away from you. Right? They can all be taken away, but guess what somebody can never take away? They can never take away who you are. Follow that right there? They can never take away who you are. See, so what drove me when I was a rep is, I just said to myself, okay, what's going to drive me is who I'm going to become. What's going to drive me is that by using this push period, I'm going to make myself a better person. What's going to drive me is that selling knives in and of itself isn't exciting. What makes it exciting is we make it exciting. Right? Like, what's the purpose of life? I don't know. Champions create a purpose on purpose. They decide, here's why I'm going to go for it. And if you make it about who you're going to become, you'll be blown away at how much that'll push you to overcome what you never overcome. Does this make sense so far? Yeah, so I would challenge all of you, especially those of you who are here right now. And I know that I really want to be open with you, that I know that many of you are here, not because you want to be selling knives for the rest of your life, but because this job might be a stepping stone, right? This might be a stepping stone. And the stepping stone, it might be stepping, somewhere within Vector. It might be stepping somewhere outside of Vector, and that's cool. But look, if you're giving your time up today to be here, and you're giving up your time this summer to do this night gig, then at least give it everything you got as a sign of respect to yourself. Everybody get that right there? Should we keep going? Yes or yes? Yeah. So let's talk about selling lots of sets. What are we going to talk about? Selling lots of sets. So the first thing that you got to do if you want to sell a lot of sets is this. We're talking about selling sets. The first thing is you have to say what word all the time? Sets. Right? You got to say sets all the time. So we're going to play a little game here. Here's how this game's going to work. You're going to turn to your neighbor, and here's how this works, by the way. On the demo, if you're wondering, well, when should I say the word sets? Anytime you say the word Cutco, just put the word sets right behind it. Cutco sets have been made since 1949. Cutco sets have been made in New York. Cutco sets are made in the United States. You guys follow that right there? So you want to use the word sets all the time. Let's actually practice. Turn to your neighbor, and here's what I want you to do. I want you to go, Cutco sets, yada, 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 yada. Cutco sets, yada, 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 yada. Go! Cutco sets, yada, yada, go! Cutco sets, yada, 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 yada. Cutco sets, yada, 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 yada. Cutco sets, Cutco sets. Say it like that with me. Cutco sets, Cutco sets, Cutco sets, Cutco sets. Cutco sets. Cutco sets. Cutco sets. Cutco sets. All right, on three, say Cutco sets. Stop on here. Cutco sets. That'll look really weird on YouTube. Yeah, come on, Of course, this is a brainwashing game, right? I used to tell my parents all the time, yeah, they're brainwashing me to be a better person, become organized, get motivated.